This video is brought to you by Soccer.com, North America's largest online soccer retailer. Be sure to use coupon code 1SR4U for free shipping within the US on any order of $100 or more. Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com bringing an unboxing video of a pair of Lotto Zero Gravity 2 200s. This is the first takedown model to the Lotto Zero Gravity 2 100, which is the newest version of the famous laceless shoe from Lotto. If you're interested in seeing those shoes, I should have them in for review in the next week or two, so just stay tuned to the YouTube channel to get a glimpse of those. Like I said, it should be on the channel very, very shortly. But as far as the Lotto Zero Gravity 2 200 is concerned, it's not necessarily a takedown model rather than a replacement for the Futura 100, which was a top-end shoe from Lotto in a different line. They've just taken that Futura line and just put it into the Zero Gravity, so that's why we have the Zero Gravity 2 200 instead of a new version of the Futura. But if you're interested in seeing the Futura, there will be an annotation in the top left corner to an unboxing video if you want a little bit more information on that shoe. But as far as the Lotto Zero Gravity 2 200 is concerned, they've made a couple of tweaks. But what made the Futura 100 such a unique shoe is that it had this thin synthetic upper giving it that barefoot feel, but it wasn't necessarily a lightweight shoe. It offered a little bit more support and a little bit more of a solid feel to it, which is not something that you would normally get paired with a thin synthetic upper. But for that reason, it was a really unique shoe, and I really did come to like it. A lot of you guys did purchase that particular shoe as per my recommendation, and really did like the shoe, at least from the feedback I heard. I was personally a really big fan of it, especially for the price range that it came in. You could pick them up for about $100, which is about the same as you can pick these up for. But as far as the changes on this particular shoe goes, you still have that thin synthetic microfiber upper on here with a little bit of a difference to it. It seems to be a little bit thinner. You can see how thin it is just through this the side of the laces here. You can see how thin the upper is. There's no padding in the upper whatsoever, but it still has a nice softness and a nice springiness to it, which is what you want from a thin synthetic upper. As far as the finish on the upper, that's also changed a little bit on this particular shoe, and you have a finish that's very similar to what we've seen last on the Vapor 7s, I believe, where they had that kind of woven finish on it, like almost like something stitched into the upper. Has that somewhat gritty finish to it. So curious to try that out, but like I said, it feels very, very similar to the Vapor 7 from Nike, which again was a very, very popular and also a very good shoe. So curious to try this shoe out and see how the touch on the ball is. You have a central lacing system with a fairly thin synthetic tongue as well. And as far as the fit of the shoe is concerned, I know a lot of you guys are probably concerned with the toe box being a little bit large, or looks to be a little bit large. But like any synthetic shoe that has a little bit of rigidity to it, generally that tends to flatten out once you wear the shoe a little bit, because the upper does stretch a little bit. It's exactly what we saw from the Vapor 7 or the Vapor 6 even, where we saw the toe box was a little bit large at first, but it tends to flatten out once you started to wear the shoe more and more and break them in. As far as the fit of the shoe is concerned, very, very good fit on these particular shoes. I have tried them on. They do fit true to size, so keep that in mind. Most of the Lotto shoes do fit true to size, so if you are looking to order a pair, going with your normal size should be okay. You have a higher cut in the ankle, which again is somewhat unusual for a thin synthetic shoe, but really nice. You have the nice synthetic heel liner as well. Has a little bit of a grip coating to it as well, so you should be locked in securely. Again, very, very curious to try this particular shoe out. Another big change from the Lotto's Futura 100 to the Lotto Zero Gravity 2 200 is that there's a weight drop. The Futura 100 had a listed weight or a weight of about 9.6, 9.8 ounces, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not entirely sure on that particular statistic there, but this one I know weighs in at about 8.6 ounces or 8.4 ounces perhaps. One of those, and so it's a little bit lighter and it feels nice and light in your hand, but again, you have a very solid feeling shoe with that barefoot upper, which is just somewhat unusual. If you really like that barefoot feel but didn't want to give up all that extra support, this is something that you may want to take a look at. As far as the sole plate is concerned, you have a one-piece sole plate with the external heel counter, which a lot of shoes are going towards simply because it saves a lot of weight, but this is by no means an ultra lightweight sole plate. You're still going to get plenty of support, like I said, and it's a very, very responsive one at that. You have what's called reactive arc or reactive arch, and essentially what that is you have a sole that's essentially slightly curved like this, and then when you step down, it's going to flatten out a little bit, and then once there's a little bit of pressure release, it's going to curve again. So that's the whole kind of concept behind this reactive arc system. And while I can't say that it feels all that extra responsive, it's a cool idea, and I like that they did include it on here. And you can tell there's a nice amount of flexibility while still maintaining that nice stiffness to the shoe, which is very, very important in terms of having that solid feel. As far as the rest of the shoe is concerned, you have the same stud pattern minus the twist and go stud, which a lot of people were not a big fan of. All of the new Lotto shoes have kind of eliminated the twist and go stud, which was essentially a metal stud right here, kind of a pivot stud where it's spun very freely. A lot of people were not happy with that particular stud, so Lotto has removed it on this particular shoe, as well as the rest of their new models from the Zero Gravity, as well as a Stadio Potenza. And the new Fruits Pura doesn't have the twist and go stud either. But as far as this particular stud pattern goes, it stayed exactly the same. You have these conical studs that are a little bit larger than you would normally get, larger surface area. So when you do step on natural surfaces, you're going to have a very kind of stable feel to it, simply because you're not going to dig in all that deep, but you're still going to get lots of maneuverability once your foot is planted. I was a really big fan of this particular stud pattern in Soleplate. It's personally one of my favorites to use on the market, simply because it just feels really good. It's nice and comfortable. You're not going to have any issues with stud pressure whatsoever, and it has a good rigidity to it. None of this Soleplate feels flimsy at all, and just feels really, really solid under your feet, which is why I'm a big fan of it. But that's pretty much it as far as the unboxing goes. If you do want to check out the full written review for this particular shoe, it should be up in a couple of weeks or so, guys. Give me about 4 weeks or so, and it should be up on the website. But in the meantime, if you want to check out the full written review page on my website, there will be a link in the description. But right now, you're going to be able to find the high quality pictures of these shoes, which will give you some more detailed pictures up close that you wouldn't normally get in some of the stock photos that you could find online. And you're also going to find buy it now links for this particular shoe if you are interested in purchasing a pair. But other than that, guys, if you have any questions regarding the shoe, go ahead and leave me a comment down below. And if you have any questions not related to the shoe, go ahead and leave a comment on my Facebook page. There will be a link in the description of that as well. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.